Did you know that a deficiency in certain nuts can quietly damage your nerves, weaken your heart, and trigger dangerous blood sugar spikes, even if you're eating clean and taking medication? It's shocking, but true. Many diabetics avoid nuts out of fear of fat or calories, not realizing that the right nuts provide essential minerals that protect your kidneys, boost insulin sensitivity, calm inflammation, and even prevent nighttime urination caused by nerve and bladder dysfunction. Without them, your body slowly loses its ability to heal. But the good news? You don't need a dozen varieties. Just three powerful nuts can transform your diabetic health from the inside out. And no, it's not almonds or walnuts. In today's video, you'll discover the three best blood sugar-friendly nuts you must eat, plus one simple healing recipe for each that you can try tonight. First on list, fox nuts, or the Makhana. They may look like light, airy popcorn, but fox nuts, also known as Makhana, are quietly becoming one of the most powerful blood sugar-friendly snacks for people with type 2 diabetes. In fact, these ancient lotus seed puffs are making a modern comeback, not just in diabetic kitchens, but in science labs too. While most diabetics obsess over carb counts, insulin spikes, and high-fat snacks, fox nuts offer a beautifully balanced alternative. Low glycemic impact, gentle digestive action, kidney protection, heart health support, and anti-inflammatory healing all in one bowl. Their glycemic index is estimated between 28 and 32, which is impressively low, making them ideal for avoiding sugar crashes and glucose roller coasters that damage nerves and organs over time. Nutritionally, fox nuts are humble but healing. A standard 1 ounce, 28-gram, serving delivers about 90 calories, 3.5 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, 17 grams of carbohydrates, and around 1.5 grams of fiber. But what really makes them special is their mineral richness. That same serving provides 12% of the daily value for magnesium, 14% for phosphorus, 9% for iron, and 8% for potassium. These nutrients are all vital for diabetic healing. Magnesium boosts insulin sensitivity, which helps lower fasting blood glucose and supports metabolic repair. Potassium helps calm blood vessels, lower blood pressure, and reduce the heart strain that comes with long-term diabetes. Iron and phosphorus aid in oxygen transport and energy production, critical for managing fatigue and weakness, common in poorly controlled diabetes. When it comes to heart health, fox nuts quietly play a protective role. One of the lesser-known facts is that fox nuts contain natural flavonoids and saponins that may reduce LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and improve lipid profiles over time. Since many people with type 2 diabetes also struggle with elevated triglycerides and cholesterol, major contributors to cardiovascular disease, fox nuts offer a rare advantage. They can lower inflammation in artery walls while helping stabilize blood sugar. Studies suggest that the combination of magnesium, plant antioxidants, and fiber in fox nuts supports vascular elasticity and reduces arterial plaque buildup, making them a heart-smart snack for diabetics already at high risk for stroke or heart attacks. But the benefits of fox nuts don't stop with the heart. For people dealing with diabetic nephropathy, an early stage of kidney damage that affects 1 in 3 diabetics, fox nuts offer surprisingly strong protection. Scientific research shows that their natural antioxidants reduce oxidative stress in kidney tissue, stabilize filtration pressure, and may help lower urinary protein loss. One compound in particular, camphorol, is known for protecting delicate capillaries in the kidneys, brain, and eyes, helping to shield diabetics from complications like retinopathy, neuropathy, and cognitive decline. This makes fox nuts one of the few snacks that not only avoid damage, but actually repair it from the inside out. They also shine when it comes to digestion and appetite control, two often overlooked problems in diabetes management. Their low-calorie density and air-puff texture provide a crunchy, filling experience without triggering a blood sugar spike. They're especially helpful for people with diabetes who struggle with emotional eating or nighttime hunger. Thanks to their high satiety index and gentle blood sugar effect, fox nuts support healthy appetite hormones like leptin and ghrelin, which helps curb cravings and promote weight loss. And since obesity is a major driver of insulin resistance, managing hunger naturally is a huge step toward diabetes reversal. Did you know? In traditional Indian and Chinese medicine, foxnuts are known as a tonic food, believed to increase vitality, fertility, and longevity. Modern studies suggest there may be truth to this. In men, antioxidants in foxnuts have been linked to improved sperm health and testosterone regulation. In women, they may help balance estrogen, reduce insulin spikes linked to PCOS, and support reproductive function, all of which can be affected by uncontrolled diabetes. One common myth is that foxnuts are too high in carbs to be diabetic-friendly. While they do contain about 17 grams of carbohydrates per ounce, the glycemic load is extremely low due to the complex starch structure and presence of fiber and antioxidants. In fact, foxnuts produce a slower, more stable rise in blood sugar compared to white bread, crackers, or even whole wheat toast. And when paired with a healthy fat or protein, such as walnuts, hummus, or low-fat Greek yogurt, the blood sugar impact becomes even more negligible, making foxnuts a true star in the diabetic pantry. Try this diabetic-friendly foxnuts recipe that's both tasty and healing. In a non-stick pan, roast 1 cup, about 30 grams, of foxnuts on low to medium heat for 7 to 8 minutes until they become crisp. Then add 1 teaspoon of olive oil, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a sprinkle of Himalayan salt. For an anti-inflammatory boost, toss in a few crushed walnuts or a pinch of roasted cumin. This combination helps reduce oxidative stress, curb hunger, and support blood sugar stability for hours. You can enjoy this as a light mid-afternoon snack or a safe bedtime crunch that won't spike your glucose overnight. Portion guidance is important. Stick to 1 cup, 30 grams per day as a snack. For many people with diabetes, the best time to enjoy foxnuts is either mid-afternoon, when cravings hit and energy dips, or early evening if you're prone to late-night snacking or fasting glucose spikes in the morning. Their slow-digesting nature also makes them a great choice before a walk or light activity. Here's something to watch for. Not all foxnuts are created equal. Many commercial versions come fried in cheap oils, heavily salted, or even caramel-coated, all of which negate the diabetic benefits. Always look for plain, dry roasted, or lightly spiced versions with no added sugar, preservatives, or artificial flavors. And since they are slightly drying, make sure to drink water or pair them with a hydrating food like cucumber or herbal tea, especially if you experience slow digestion or constipation. Second on list, Brazil nuts. Oversized, earthy, and rich in flavor. Brazil nuts might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of blood sugar control, but for diabetics, especially those dealing with insulin resistance, fatigue, nerve pain, or heart risk, these powerhouse nuts offer something extraordinary. Selenium-driven healing. Often overlooked, selenium is a trace mineral that acts like a master switch for your body's antioxidant defenses. And Brazil nuts contain more of it than any other food on earth. Just one Brazil nut can deliver over 130% of the daily value for selenium, making it the single most potent tool for rebuilding glutathione, the antioxidant system that diabetics often lack. Now here's where it gets powerful. In diabetes, especially type 2, high blood sugar causes oxidative stress that slowly burns through delicate tissues, starting with nerves, kidneys, and arteries. Selenium boosts glutathione peroxidase, a protective enzyme that helps neutralize this damage before it worsens. And research confirms that selenium also improves insulin receptor signaling, meaning your cells respond better to insulin, lowering blood sugar naturally. One study found that just 2 Brazil nuts a day over 3 months improved fasting glucose levels and significantly increased antioxidant capacity in adults with poorly controlled diabetes. Let's break down what's inside. A 1-ounce, 28-gram serving, or about 6 Brazil nuts, provides 186 calories, 4 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber, and 19 grams of healthy fats, mostly mono and polyunsaturated. It's also rich in magnesium, 25% of the daily value, phosphorus, 15%, copper, 10%, zinc, 8%, and potassium, 6%. Each one playing a role in nerve conduction, muscle relaxation, immune defense, and blood sugar control. Magnesium especially deserves attention. Many diabetics are chronically deficient, and this leads to muscle cramps, insulin resistance, and increased risk of cardiac arrhythmia. Brazil nuts help refill that tank, quietly but effectively. But perhaps their most underrated role is in heart protection. Diabetics are 2 to 4 times more likely to die from heart disease, often due to a combination of inflammation, cholesterol imbalance, and vascular stiffness. Brazil nuts help address each of these issues. The unsaturated fats they contain raise HDL, good cholesterol, while lowering LDL, bad cholesterol, and triglycerides. Studies show that eating just 4 Brazil nuts once per week lowered LDL cholesterol by 20 to 25 points, a change that typically requires medication. Meanwhile, selenium improves endothelial function, relaxes arteries, and reduces clot risk, offering layered protection against strokes and silent heart attacks. Beyond the heart, Brazil nuts soothe diabetic nerve damage. Many diabetics suffer from tingling, numbness, or burning sensations in their hands and feet, a sign of peripheral neuropathy. This occurs when chronic high blood sugar damages the myelin sheath, the insulating layer around your nerves. Selenium, zinc, and copper help regenerate this protective sheath, while magnesium calms nerve overactivity and improves sleep. The combination also supports brain health, offering memory and mood benefits that can be especially helpful in diabetics struggling with fatigue or brain fog. Brazil nuts also bring surprising benefits for fertility and hormonal balance. In men, selenium improves sperm quality, testosterone levels, and reduces oxidative stress in reproductive tissues. In women, selenium and zinc support ovulation and estrogen balance, particularly valuable for diabetics dealing with irregular periods or polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. And since thyroid disorders often go hand in hand with diabetes, the role of selenium in activating thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, adds another layer of metabolic healing. Here's a fun fact. It takes nearly 14 months for a Brazil nut pod to mature, and each one only contains 12 to 20 nuts. These nuts fall from towering 160-foot trees in the Amazon and can only be harvested from wild, undisturbed forests. That's why Brazil nuts are considered a symbol of both ecological purity and healing longevity. A common myth is that Brazil nuts are too fatty or too caloric for diabetics. While it's true they are calorie-dense, they are nutrient-rich, not junk calories. The unsaturated fats they contain improve insulin signaling and stabilize glucose levels, especially when eaten with high-fiber or protein-rich foods. In fact, pairing 1 Brazil nut with a few slices of avocado, a hard-boiled egg, or a handful of leafy greens slows carbohydrate absorption and lowers the meal's glycemic load, making it easier on your pancreas. Here's a diabetic-friendly Brazil nut recipe you can try. Blend 1 Brazil nut, 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, 1/2 cup unsweetened almond milk, a pinch of Ceylon cinnamon, and a few blueberries into a morning smoothie. This mix is rich in selenium, magnesium, omega-3s, and blood sugar balancing polyphenols. It's creamy, satisfying, and won't spike your glucose levels. You can enjoy it as a snack or a breakfast add-on to boost antioxidant levels and fuel your morning. Portion guidance is crucial here. You only need 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day. Any more than that may push the selenium intake too high. While selenium toxicity is rare, chronic overconsumption can cause fatigue, metallic taste, or nail brittleness. 1 Brazil nut already gives you 100% to 130% of your selenium needs, so resist the urge to snack on them like almonds. Rotate them with other healing nuts like walnuts, pecans, or foxnuts for a full-spectrum nutrient profile. One natural-sounding tip to remember: Brazil nuts are sensitive to heat, light, and oxidation. Store them in the refrigerator or freezer in an airtight glass jar to keep their oils fresh. Avoid prepackaged mixes with added salt or sugar. The purest benefits come from raw or lightly roasted, unsalted nuts, ideally organic or wild harvested. Third on list, sesame seeds. They may be tiny, but sesame seeds pack a nutritional punch that goes far beyond their size. For people living with diabetes, these seeds offer a rare combination of blood sugar stabilization, vascular repair, hormone support, and antioxidant protection. Often sprinkled as a garnish and forgotten, sesame seeds, especially unhulled and lightly roasted, deserve a permanent place in every diabetic's kitchen. Their healing power lies in their blend of lignans, minerals, healthy fats, and rare compounds like sesamin and sesamol, which are increasingly recognized for their role in reversing insulin resistance, calming inflammation, and protecting delicate organs like the heart, kidneys, and nerves. The glycemic index of sesame seeds is extremely low, around 20 to 25, depending on how they're prepared. Their glycemic load per serving is nearly zero, which means they do not trigger blood sugar spikes, even in large amounts. 1 tablespoon, about 9 grams, contains only 52 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 2 grams of protein, 2.1 grams of carbs, and about 1.1 grams of fiber. But don't let those small numbers fool you. That same tablespoon delivers 25% of the daily value for copper, 16% for manganese, 9% for calcium, 8% for magnesium, 7% for iron, and smaller but meaningful amounts of phosphorus, zinc, and selenium. These minerals are vital for diabetics, not just to maintain balance, but to heal damage caused by long-term hyperglycemia. Sesame seeds are especially valuable for improving insulin sensitivity. The lignans, sesamin and sesamol, work at the cellular level to reduce oxidative stress in the pancreas, allowing insulin to function more efficiently. In one research study, type 2 diabetics who consume sesame oil regularly experienced a 36% drop in fasting blood sugar and significant improvements in A1C. That's because sesame compounds activate PPAR receptors in the liver and fat tissues, helping regulate glucose transport, reduce fat buildup, and lower circulating insulin levels. Even more remarkably, sesame lignans help regenerate glutathione, the body's master antioxidant. Glutathione shields insulin-producing beta cells from oxidative damage, reduces inflammatory load on the liver, and helps restore hormonal and metabolic balance. All essential functions for diabetics facing the progression of insulin resistance or beta cell fatigue. Their cardiovascular benefits are equally impressive. The magnesium and sesamin in sesame seeds help lower blood pressure by relaxing the walls of arteries and reducing vascular inflammation. At the same time, their polyunsaturated fats help reduce LDL, bad cholesterol, while raising HDL, good cholesterol. Copper, another critical mineral in sesame seeds, aids in the production of red blood cells and collagen, supporting vessel strength, wound healing, and skin repair. This is especially important for diabetics prone to poor circulation, slow healing, and risk of diabetic ulcers. And let's not forget their antioxidant load. Sesame seeds are rich in vitamin E-like compounds that protect against oxidative stress, a key driver of diabetic neuropathy and kidney damage. But perhaps one of sesame's most unique features is its ability to support hormonal balance and fertility, two areas often overlooked in diabetes care. In women, sesamin helps regulate estrogen metabolism and may reduce symptoms of PCOS and insulin-induced menstrual irregularities. In men, zinc and selenium from sesame seeds support testosterone production, sperm quality, and reproductive vitality. These hormonal benefits make sesame seeds one of the few natural foods that offer both metabolic and reproductive support, an especially powerful combination for younger diabetics or couples managing blood sugar and fertility together. Here's a fun fact. In Japan, sesame lignans are so highly prized for their cholesterol-lowering and anti-aging effects that they're extracted into pharmaceutical-grade capsules. Researchers are now actively studying how these compounds may help prevent diabetic heart disease, stroke, and fatty liver, highlighting just how far this ancient seed has come from its humble garnish status. A common myth is that sesame seeds are only beneficial when pressed into oil or used in large amounts. But in truth, even a tablespoon or two of ground sesame seeds can deliver major health benefits. Unlike oil, whole seeds contain fiber, protein, and the full spectrum of minerals and antioxidants. Ground sesame, or tahini, is particularly helpful as it increases bioavailability and allows easier absorption of calcium and lignans, especially in seniors or those with weak digestion. Here's a simple diabetic-friendly recipe using sesame seeds. In a bowl, combine 1 tablespoon of ground sesame seeds, 1 tablespoon of ground flax seeds, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, and 1/2 cup unsweetened almond milk. Stir and let it sit for 5 minutes to form a quick pudding. Top with a few berries or crushed walnuts for added fiber and omega-3s. This recipe delivers steady energy, improves insulin sensitivity, and helps curb hunger, all without spiking your blood sugar. It's an excellent snack before bed or a light morning option when digestion is slow. Portion guidance. You can safely consume 1 to 2 tablespoons, 9 to 18 grams, of sesame seeds daily, ground, soaked, or lightly toasted. They can be added to smoothies, stirred into soups, sprinkled on roasted vegetables, or used in homemade granola. Try not to eat them raw and whole, as their outer shell is hard to digest and can pass through the system without releasing nutrients. Ground or lightly roasted is the most therapeutic form, especially for those with metabolic issues. Here's one gentle reminder. While sesame allergies are rare, they can occur. If you're introducing sesame seeds for the first time, start with a small quantity and observe for any reactions. Also, avoid store-bought tahini or sesame snacks that contain added sugar, oils, or preservatives. These cancel out the blood sugar benefits. Always opt for pure, unsalted, unsweetened sesame products, preferably organic. If this video gave you even one new insight about blood sugar or diabetic healing, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe so you never miss the next step in your journey to better health.